I just want 5 minutes of happiness, please. Just give me 5 minutes.
And they scored! They did it!
Left, feet left.
What the hell was that?
Oh, yeah!
What the fuck are you talking about?
Yo, what up, everybody? Kicking it stateside back again. Thursday, July 29th. Of course, today is the day we see what the U.S. men's national team can do against tough opponents, the Asian champs, like we've announced, Qatar. Obviously, other things going on. The Olympics, if you forgot. On the men's side, we are in the quarters as well. We'll kind of get into that whole, all the fixtures for the quarters. And then the women's, of course, the women's national team will take on the Netherlands tomorrow morning, bright and early. So we'll kind of get into that as well. Adam Modick, Brian Wheeler, what's going on, my friend? How you doing?
Oh, brother, I'm fantastic. How are you?
Oh, you know, just another day in the life of living in the good old US of A, you know?
Oh, yeah. Typical last second. Headphones aren't working, so had to do a scramble run. And
technical difficulties never are we never have enough of them, and then we figure out the way. But don't worry, we're good to go. We're both headsetting it up today.
Oh, yeah. And another way to be good to go and not have technical difficulties is with our newest sponsor. You know how we do it. The Olympics, Gold Cup, baseball, major championships, and concerts are all in this summer. But you know what isn't? A wild, hairy bush. And just in time for Dan to join us. Tame your pubes with help from our friends at Manscaped, the leaders in the below-the-waist grooming. Their fourth-generation performance package includes the brand-new Lawnmower 4.0. If an athlete treats their body like royalty, why not treat your pubes like Olympic gold or Gold Cup gold, which the U.S. will be bringing home? Fellas, do right by your balls and join the 2 million men worldwide and trust Manscaped to do it. Go to manscaped.com, enter code A2D, receive 20% off and free shipping. So not only do you get the 20%, but you get the free shipping. The brand new Lawnmower 4.0, as Adam showed you on Tuesday's episode, takes the podium. Fourth generation trimmer of cutting edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to the advanced skin safe technology. So we beat the horse on how important it is to keep your boys healthy and looking good.
Actually, funny you say that. I'm up at my parents' for the weekend, and what was awaiting for me?
The
Manscaped Crop Preserver.
Beautiful.
It's an anti-chafing ball deodorant. You basically take a shower, wipe your boys down, and then you just give a little handful and then go to town. Get you smelling good, feeling good, all the right stuff. So,
oh yeah, confidence
you get
is
free
key.
little things like this once you do with Manscaped. So it's a no-brainer. The 20% off, the free shipping, you know. Go to manscaped.com, use the code A2D, and you get all these fun little things like I just showed you right there, and what I showed you, that nice little duffel travel case that you get with your order. Come on.
Love it. Love it. So, all right, let's get down to business.
But yes, digression from our wonderful people at Manscaped and sponsor. But today, obviously, like I said, topic, obviously, we got the Gold Cup semifinals tonight. We got the U.S. Qatar, and then after us, we have little brother Canada versus Mexico in the other semifinal at 10. It's a pretty great night for soccer. I mean, if this is if you're up for the challenge of staying up late and you don't have work super duper duper early, great little doubleheader to get you into the weekend here. And of course, we have the Olympics. We have the men's and women's going to go on. Obviously, our women's national team will be playing tomorrow morning against the Netherlands. Is it tomorrow? I keep saying tomorrow, or is it Saturday?
I'm going to pull that up. because
I don't want to keep saying the wrong.
well, yeah, now you got me thinking because I was solely looking at the men's team. But hold on,
because it throws me off because I believe it's at it's either 4 or 7 a.m., which is
yeah. No, you're 100% right. It is tomorrow, Friday morning.
Okay.
July 30th, beginning at 4 a.m. Again, we were privy on both tournaments. Well, since we're not in the Olympics, the Gold Cup, we have the better time game. And in this one, we have the better time game. So tomorrow morning, the women play at 7 a.m.
Okay. Good.
Eastern Standard Time. So it shouldn't be too much for people if, they don't have work or things along those lines. They should be able to get that one in as opposed to trying to wake up at 4 a.m. Dan might as well just throw an all-nighter in Canada because I think it's 1 a.m. his time for the Canadian-Brazil game in the women's. So
good times. Good times to be a Canadian soccer fan, but it's also a pretty good time to be, and always, a Brazilian soccer fan. With that being said, our poll question was, with the Brazilian men's team obviously doing well, I saw Richarlison. If you're a Premier League guy like us, Richarlison's a pretty solid player for Everton. He is doing his thing for Brazil as well. He had a brace the other day, getting them into the quarters. And also, of course, the women's team, Marta Formiga, the ageless wonder herself. Always a problem in the women's game. So with that being said, do you think, or better off, are Brazil on the men's and women's team the favorites to take home both Olympic golds here? I would probably say probably not, because I'd say the men's obviously have a great chance. You'd say they pretty close to having the best roster of the Olympics with just bringing Dani Alves on, being that veteran presence, and of course Richarlison is, we know what he can do. But on the women's side, I think that Brazil's always been in the shadow, unfortunately, of the women's U.S. national team. They just can't get over us. They cannot beat us for whatever reason. So I'm going to say disagree, but I do think that the men's team has a great chance. Unfortunately, I do not think the women's team will get it done. What do you think? I don't know.
I'm going to go on the opposite side, and I don't want to do it because people are going to be like, oh, now you're picking against the U.S. women, but I'm going to go with agree. Looking at the roster on the men's side, clearly, and the remaining competition on the men's side, Brazil by far has the best roster. They've definitely put up one of the better performances so far in group stages. They get Egypt in the first round here of the quarters. Should be something that they could handle. Just real quick, though, to mention that there are 2 African nation teams remaining in the quarterfinals for the Olympics, too.
I really backed your argument with Lord Walker.
The youth, and, obviously, once again, you only get Brazil because Mexico doesn't count as CONMEBOL. And it was pretty funny to see the Brazilian. I don't know if you saw it, but the Brazilian, some of the Brazilian pros national team guys were trolling Argentina for getting knocked out of the Olympics. So you love to see that. And I think they're the clear-cut favorites on the men's side. And then on the women's side, I think still, we talked about it on Tuesday, the women have their work cut out for them tomorrow morning. And if they somehow falter against Netherlands and get knocked out, I think the door opens wide for Brazil to take the gold and Marta to, be able to bite that medal. Because I think the U.S. like you said, has been their Achilles heel, and it's kind of been like her great career has been a little overshadowed with not being able to win certain tournaments because of the U.S. team. But I think if somehow they can get kind of out of the mix ahead of time, it's all her. And they'll have an opportunity to win double gold.
I totally agree. I mean, I think there's a lot. And, with Marta and, that team getting a little older, and I just think that it's going to be more of a challenge than it ever has been for the Brazilian women to get back to that gold medal and get on the podium for the Olympics for the women. But again, I think the men's team, I think they have probably the best shot out of the remaining teams, just looking at some of the matchups. Obviously, the Spanish, they're always going to have some good youngsters, and the Japanese actually have been playing pretty well. With Kubo leading the way there. So again, it's always fun to see because technically this is supposed to be like an amateur competition.
I did find out all the details. Remember last week we were kind of not 100% sure on why certain guys were able to play.
Yeah.
I did do the digging. It is a U23. The reason we're seeing so many 24-year-olds on the roster is they were given the exemption due to the COVID and the Olympics getting pushed back. And then every roster on top of that is allowed 3 guys that are not 23 or below, or in this case, 24 or below for this specific Olympics. So that's why a Danny Alves at 38 can be in there and things along those lines. So,
yeah, thank you for that clarification. Yeah, It makes sense. It makes sense. With the postponement from last year, the exemption, actually, good work from the Olympic Committee for once.
Absolutely.
They did a good job.
Jenny, welcome. Throwing up them Mexico flags.
Gotta love it.
Love it.
Thanks you for checking in. We have a Canadian and some Mexican fans. Good to see.
While we got the subject of Mexico up here real quick, and it's our show and we can pretty much do what we want and we structure it out a certain way, but you know how that always goes. Something's to be said for the youth of Mexico, and I think we got to watch it closely. They are still alive in both the Olympics and they're still alive in the Gold Cup. So that's a team that obviously has enough talent that they can spread out through 2 teams and still be in a tournament, and they're not even using every bit of talent they have at their disposal because some of their A-team guys, aren't on either this Gold Cup team or clearly the Olympic team as well. So we got to watch that, and we got to keep progressing like we keep saying we're going to, and because they're right there with us as far as talent and things along those lines. And Ochoa, I don't know how you feel about him. I'm going to say go to Mexico because one thing that we don't need is a goalkeeper, and I actually really haven't been that impressed with him.
I don't know. I mean, it's one of those where, again, the goalie position for the U.S. isn't really one we have to completely worry about. Like, that's the least of our worries. So, especially with Memo Ochoa, the ageless wonder, getting pretty long in the tooth, and you got to think this is going to be his last go-around for Mexico. So yeah, I think it's a great opportunity for him. Again, we have, Stefan. I think Ethan Horvath has shown his, what he's got, his medal, and what he can prove out there. And also, Matt Turner's proven he's a steady, at least 3 can fight for a second spot with Horvath. So again, if he feels like he can compete and step in there to the Mexican squad after Memo Ochoa leaves, and retires from international play, then go for it. You saw Efrain Alvarez kind of make the switch from the U.S. to Mexico, the youngster in the LA Galaxy system. So again, some of these guys are seeing the writing on the wall. You could see with Akinola as well. That was a striker for Toronto FC who made the switch from U.S. to Canada. I think he kind of saw the writing on the wall as well. It's it is what it is. These guys aren't stupid. They know what's going on. They have people that are talking to them. They have agents and scouts in their ear saying, you know what, it's not worth it. go where you think you can play and go where you can compete at and be successful, because that's the main thing. It is a team sport, but you got to worry about yourself in the end. So
yeah, I just think I just found it interesting that it became like he's making it such news, or I guess his camp's making it such news or whatever, that it's like, oh, it's still up in the air. He hasn't really decided between Mexico and the U.S. It's like, dude, we played these games already. We're done playing those games. Either you want to buy in and you want to be part of this, or you want to be part of that. And like you just stated, our goalkeeping is probably one spot that we have one of the biggest log jams in, and we have enough talent there to where it's like, all right, I mean, either you want to step up and you want to make an attempt and you want to try and break into that top 3, top 4 group of guys, or you don't and you want to kind of follow a legacy and stick with your, originating country, even though he was born in California, his country heritage, and try and kind of take the reins.
yeah, it's I wanted to go. I would take a look at some of these questions just to piggyback quick. Talking about Mexico, Jenny asked, "Can Mexico beat Canada today?"
Absolutely, Mexico should beat Canada today. Yeah,
I saw an article before we got on today saying ESPN saying something that this is a huge game for the Mexican team, and that that Mexico has everything to lose.
Yeah,
that's a pretty powerful statement. Saying that, is it everything to lose? Maybe, because
there's extremely high expectations.
Pressure, yeah, big time expectations. Canada, one, doesn't have Alphonso Davies, so that puts a little bit extra pressure, thinking that, all right, Canada's best player is not even playing in this game.
Yeah,
you're rolling out there pretty much your A team. Granted, the A team that we know is getting a little old, but still good.
Yeah,
like you said, the Mexican team is in the quarters of the Olympics still, which says a lot about the youth development there, and they're still in the Gold Cup. So, and you know damn well that Mexico wants revenge on the U.S. from that Nations League loss. You know that they circled that game saying, we want that Gold Cup final against the U.S. because we want some payback. We're pissed off that we lost to you. And it's a great rivalry. And I think the TV ratings want U.S. versus Mexico in that final. And I think that Mexico easily can beat Canada, especially, without Alphonso Davies playing.
Yeah, we got to make sure we don't overlook Qatar.
And we're not overlooking Qatar. We've said that before. Yeah. But yeah, it's something that I think Mexico definitely, to answer your question, Jenny, for sure. I don't think those guys on that roster are going to let themselves lose to, again, Dan, fuck off. We can poke fun at each other. I'm not upset at you. You just came in hot that day. I just want to address that. And there's difference between banter and just being an asshole. And that day you were a dickhead. So
yeah, oh yeah. Sometimes he just goes straight dickhead mode.
But anyway, yes.
Anyway, and to Jenny did say best Mexico player is number 11, which is the gentleman that we mentioned last week as well, Funes Mori, the Monterrey forward. Really coming of age at age 30, finally. He seems to be taking one of the forward roles for Mexico with still some injuries going on to Raul and Chicharito basically not playing in this tournament, being kept back with Galaxy. So he's done a great job there. And hello to Tommy. What's up? Wilson, Tori, thank you. It's sort of a closet. It's this is my closet of kits now. This is my little safe space to do our shows from. So.
Yeah, I mean, Tori, I see you catching slack on Twitter from all these crazy people coming out of the woodwork. So
Yeah.
You know, people know it's different. I could banter with the best. You could chirp me all you want, but it's like when you're coming at like our show saying it sucks and it's terrible and we have the lowest ratings on A2D, that's just being a dickhead and an asshole. That's not banter.
Yes.
So don't come at the fam or you're going to get blocked. Sorry. And my granny is dead, so thank you, Daniel.
Lord Walker.
What's
Lord
he
Walker
said?
said Mexico's gonna. Are
they the dark horse out there or what?
I mean, they're having a good tournament. They're definitely having a good Olympic tournament. Don't count my Ivorian boys out. They're still going. That defense is looking mighty good.
Yes. I want to get to Anthony. I'm sorry, Anthony.
I know.
I wasn't ignoring you. I see your questions flying in. In our honest opinion, for a true pure center forward going to be DK or Hopi with Sargent. Yeah, watching all three of those guys you mentioned play, I'm just not sold on any of those guys taking any of the reins. Like Sargent, he works his butt off. Like that's one thing I'll give him some credit for. DK, we haven't really seen that much of him, and neither have with Hopi. Like it's hard to tell at this point. You know, we'll see what kind of lineup Mr. Berghalter rolls out there tonight against Qatar.
I'm very interested to see that, actually. I was hoping it would be released by Showtime, but it probably will not be.
Yeah, I don't care what you say, Dan.
Just keep ignoring him.
Oh, yeah. It's funny.
It is. But, yeah, tonight's lineup's going to be interesting, and I know Anthony always likes to address every question to you, but to answer part of it is myself as well. This job's wide open, man, and we know that, and that's why we keep talking about it. That's why it has such talking power. We literally are doing 2 shows a week now, and we could headline almost every show with who's going to emerge as the U.S. men's national team striker. And there could still be another guy that comes out of the woodwork before this is all said and done. You know, they tried Leggett. That project was over. He's way better suited in the midfield. Putting him up top was not going to work. You have these 3 guys, and then we still have Tim Weah. If he ever is 100% healthy, if he's ever fully released from Lille or wherever he ends up moving to, I mean, that guy can score too, bro. He can. So there's 4 right there if you include Sargent. And then, there's more, and then there's the options of formation changes and how are we going to actually come out with an A team? Is it going to be a 1 striker with 2 wingers on the sides? Most likely, I would think, based off of the talent we have and the way Pulisic likes to get out on the wing there for Chelsea. Mm-hmm. So is it 1 spot that's open with a couple reserve spots? Is it going to be 2 spots that's open? Because he's throwing 2 strikers out now. I don't think we're built for a 2-striker set, to be honest.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, what positions are really going to be open once World Cup qualifying comes around? There's not much.
Yeah, it's going to be limited. So this is the time to shine, and we'll see who is the shining star tonight. But we have bigger problems on our hands than putting the ball in the net tonight. We got to stop the ball from going in, because if you look at Qatar over this tournament and over recent, they're another team that we said with the women going against the Netherlands, Qatar can put the ball in the net. And we have not. We have squeaked by with some 1-0 victories against teams that, you think we should do more against. Qatar is putting up 3 against El Salvador. I think they put up 2 against Honduras, and early in the tournament, I think they had a 4 spot too. If I'm not, it was against Grenada, but still, we played Haiti. We didn't put 4 up against Haiti. We put up 1, and it was a struggle where they just came out. They have the number 1 goal scorer in the tournament in Almoz Ali. He plays, I believe, in the Qatarian league, but he's got 4 goals. He is the Golden Boot leader in this tournament as well. So we got to be careful tonight. This is not just going to be a run through everybody.
You can't overstate the fact that we're not supposed to be looking past Qatar, because they're the Asian champions, like we said, and they're in a tournament for a competitive tournament semifinal for a reason. You're not just going to coast there. I don't care, what luck is on your side or who you got out there. It's still tough to get to a semifinal of any tournament. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. We got to come out. We have to have that mentality where, not to say that there's a lot of pressure on this group of individuals, this like C squad, B fringe team. And I see people saying, oh, well, if we lose to Qatar, we're just going to say that, oh, it was our C squad. Oh, it was our, fringe players, which, okay, I get that argument. But at the same time, it's only facts. Like, this isn't our A team. So, I mean, I guess I don't know what the expectations. We said going into this tournament, less than probably the final is an underachieving. So I would expect a good game tonight. I would expect us to get the job done. I just don't think that anything less than that, I think, is really just, unacceptable to me. If we want to get back to that power, if we want to get to where even Mexico's leaps and bounds ahead of us right now, again, with pulling 2 rosters out of their, out of the hat and getting to knockout stages in both says a lot, and they've always been that way. So we need to get to that point, and we need to win tonight. Again, Jenny, who has better players? That's very tough. I would say Mexico might have maybe the better roster, better pedigree, just based on who they rolled out there. But as far as, are we
talking
guys that are barely have even sniffed the national team at all?
I was going to say, are we talking as a whole or just in this tournament? Because as a whole, as good as we just praised Mexico, and they got 2 teams still alive in 2 tournaments, and they got a good movement of youth that looks like coming up. I mean, we got, 31 guys now playing in Europe, and a lot of them in Champions League and things along those lines. So it's hard to say that if you went balls to the wall, A team, which team had the better players. I still think we're probably a sniff above, but they may have more depth. They may have more, I don't know. It's hard to tell. They might just have better coaching, like we've talked about, and better organization from the top down, because that is definitely part of our issue. And to answer Anthony's question, when are we going to have the messy conversation? We have a lot of messy conversations. If we want to have that one on Tuesday, we can probably set that up for Tuesday, because then after Tuesday,
there's some time to be filled with some conversation when international play and Olympics are starting to wrap up here.
We'll be previewing hopefully us playing in the final, or would that actually happen before that? When is the Gold Cup final?
It's
Sunday.
I was going to say.
So we won't have a show before that. So hopefully Tuesday's show we're celebrating a Gold Cup championship, and then we could work that messy stuff in there, because after that the next couple shows will be all Premier League preview. Mm-hmm. I would say so. Yeah. If we lose to Qatar, and they use the excuse technically they're not supposed to be competing in our no. No.
I don't think so.
No, that's a terrible excuse. That's even worse. Like, hey, you invited these outside guests, to be part of this tournament, and
that's almost even worse. It's like you invited these guys from outside the region, and they came in and won your tournament. Say, what does that say about CONCACAF then?
Yeah, that just
if
that
Qatar comes in there and just runs runs shit and leaves with a trophy, and they're like, "Whoa, we should do this more often. We're gonna be top 20 in the world now here."
Yeah, they'll be rolling in the dough with an Asian championship and then a Gold Cup championship. We can't let that happen.
Think of the momentum for the World Cup then. They'll be flying high. Don't want to play Qatar.
Man, they'd be heavy favorites in their group.
Put that money on Qatar, man.
Oh, yeah.
Davies is good, but his importance to Canada is being overstated. I think Canada without Davies is being understated.
Yeah.
I think Canada has a good roster. I like Kyle Larin. I think he's a good player. They have a good team, but again, it's Alphonso Davies is by far the catalyst for the club or the country. Sorry,
Jonathan David's not playing in this tournament either, is he?
I don't believe so.
No, he is not. So I mean, that's their best scorer. I mean, him and Tim Weah were the reason why Lille won the French League last year. More David than Weah. Weah just came on later. But, like, that's another key piece that this team is missing. So there's a lot of you got to give credit to this Canada team. Like you said, they're doing it without him. And he said, they're good enough to win. I don't know. I don't know if they're good enough to win this whole tournament without him. He's such a key piece. You know how much different even this team would look? I'd be super scared right now if they were in the Final Four and they still had him.
That's why World Cup qualifying is going to be very interesting, facing some of these teams that are going to be adding some pieces that are missing from these rosters.
I love Lord Walker, but you're such a softie. Like, suck it up and if you can't be called a B team player or C team player, and that doesn't still motivate you to go out and win, then that's your problem, and that's the problem with everybody right now. If you want to quit because we call you the B team and that doesn't motivate you to go out and win a Gold Cup, then quit. I'll find somebody else. Why don't you do it last minute too, with your team waiting for you on the line? But I won't get into that one either.
I know.
Sorry, I'm on a 30-day ban from Facebook, and I can't express all this stuff and all this stuff coming out recently.
I know you got a lot to say about.
No, it's probably better. It's probably better that I don't say some of it, but just like I get what he's saying. I get what he's saying. This is our team. This is the only competition we're currently competing in.
It's so USA. Yes,
this is right. The team. This is the team. Right now, they are our A team. Because that's all that we have. But let's be realistic.
I don't know. It's silly to say that we're not missing pretty much everybody. That would be.
There's not one.
To your point, there's what? How many people are going to be making the World Cup qualifying roster from this team?
5, maybe.
And again, remains to be seen. I don't know.
Right. Well, at least one of the strikers has to come. Has to. Even if it's Zardes, one of the strikers has to come.
Zardes is going to make that goddamn roster.
Yeah, I know. Columbus till we die, right? And who else? Leget's going to make it, and deservingly. I'm okay with that. Leget's 100% going to make it. He's probably been one of our most consistent players because he plays. He gets picked for every team. That guy gets picked no matter what tournament we have. He's getting picked. So
has
Matt Turner
played his way into
a 25? Yeah, maybe not an 18, but a 25. Matt Turner's made his way at least to the top 3 in goalkeepers, I think.
He definitely he has to.
He has to.
We said this on Tuesday. Yeah. I'm done with the Brad Guzans. He had a fantastic career, but his time is over.
And then it's like you almost know Paul Arriola's coming. You almost know. And he's going to start tonight. He's going to start tonight. He came back healthy against Jamaica, and he started. It's killing me. That's why we only put 1 goal in the net, but,
I don't even know. What has Anthony got for us? I saw your question earlier, Anthony. Sorry, it's kind of coming in quick today. But, Italy did not make the Olympics for the men, I do not believe.
No, Italy is not.
Spain did, and Spain is playing Saturday versus the Ivory Coast in the Olympics.
Spain, yeah, you're going down, Spain.
Um,
Going down.
I saw my boy Mikel Merino scored for them. Former Dortmund, former Newcastle player.
Yeah, they have. I guess this came up during Euros as well. Olazabal, Orazabal. He is playing on this team. He was also part of the Euro roster. He's got a goal, and Marino's got a goal for Spain. Spain's been very underwhelming. Not that Ivory Coast has lit the world on fire. They made it here with scoring 1 goal. But they played really good defense. So that's going to be a good game. But there's the Spanish roster leaves a little bit to be desired as well, I think.
I mean, we went over the Germany roster, and that's just ridiculous.
Yeah, that Germany roster has got to go. It's gone. It's gone. Thank God. I woke up. I sent the picture. I woke up at 4 a.m. and watched it, and I wore an orange T-shirt. I didn't put my Germany kit on. I put an orange T-shirt on for the Ivory Coast because I didn't want to see this Germany team go on. That roster was dreadful. That roster was absolutely dreadful, and I think you know where my red card's going later today. But, like, talk about youth movements and, like, what you got to look forward to for the future. Germany is not the vibe right now. I can tell you that.
I was even shocked reading that. When you told me to look, I was like, this is like a D team for them.
Yeah, and they did not show up against the Ivory Coast, and the Ivory Coast got out of there with their draw and moved on, man. Good for them.
Hey.
And Spain with that draw knocked out Argentina, so I was happy. I was happy to see Argentina.
Lord Walker said I brought it up before, but there's 10 to 12 spots that are being competed for.
Oh, absolutely.
Again, it's the guys that are probably going to come to the. There's some shoo-ins for sure, but yeah, of course. I mean, it's a young pool, so you got to kind of.
I got a perfect idea for Tuesday.
What's that?
We'll have a Gold Cup final. Will be over whether we win tonight or not. This tournament will be over. It'll be concluded. I think Lord Walker can join us if he is available. And you, I, and him will put together our men's national team.
Okay. Could do that.
Plus, we'll throw the little bit of messy stuff in there, and we got a perfect show for Tuesday. So, Lord Walker, if you're up for the challenge, we'd love to have you on, at least for the second half, maybe the last second half hour of the show. And why don't we put together our dream national team going into World Cup.
Our 11 or our 18?
We can go 25 if you want. We can go. We can blow the whole roster out if you want. I'm good with at least 18. I'm down with the bench, but if you want to go even further, we can do that too.
Let's do 18. I think that's doable.
So 18 is the requirement. If you want to throw a couple more guys in there just out of love, we can do that. You want to bring Michael Bradley as your 25th guy, you can do that.
Speaking of guys that ships have sailed,
Let's hope so, yeah. We really needed some veteran leadership going into World Cup qualifying, so I brought Michael Bradley on as our CDM. Could you imagine?
I know. No, I can't because the Bald Baron is over.
Yeah.
It's over. But yeah, it's Bob Bradley and Bruce Arena. We said are invariably when they lose, it's always a good day in my book.
Oh yeah.
Okay, Jenny first. Mexico had a good game against South Africa.
Yeah, they did. South Africa.
The old South Africans. Tough to say. Eric, my good friend. Hello. The Prem starts the week after.
Yeah.
It's Friday the 13th, actually. Arsenal versus Brentford, right?
Yes, sir.
Great game to kick us off. New boys, the Bees, against looks like a little retooled Arsenal team. Little Ben White coming in, I hear. That's pretty much final.
I think it's done. It's finally done.
Just waiting for him to sign on the dotted line, basically.
Ben White, Rob Holding combo. It's on.
I mean, it's a step up from Mustafi. And,
unfortunately, Serginho Dest turned us down today.
He turned Dortmund down too. That's fine.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Bayern,
Dortmund, and Arsenal all turned down. He's staying at Barca. I don't blame him.
I'm okay with that, though.
I'm okay with that too, honestly.
Joe Red, CONCACAF teams might be improving, but Mexico and U.S. are still only 2 teams to place first or second. All their teams will gamble for third.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. If you're talking about like eventually World Cup qualifying standings, I hope so. I hope we're in that final game. I don't. Usually, what CONCACAF gets 4 teams or 5?
I don't know because the expansion's coming too. I think this one, I think we get 4.
It's always the top 3, and it's either top 3 or 4, and then another play-in. That other team has to do a play-in.
I think the top 3 are guaranteed, and then depending on some other tournaments too, and how, like, because if teams with automatic qualifications also win a spot, then the second place team from that tournament would come in, like. So, like, because Qatar's already in, but if they're playing in some kind of qualifying tournament and they were to win it, then whoever got second, I think, comes in. And there's little stipulations in there.
But U.S. struggles developing a striker, but we can develop most other terms of midfield or goalkeeper. That is a great question. Tale as old as time. We're just not really sure why. It just...
Well, you got to pull defense out of that part, though. Defense is the other issue. I don't...
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Strong
striker
midfield
has been okay. I thought Clint Dempsey had a fantastic career. I thought Landy Cakes had a pretty good career as well. If you want to throw in Brian McBride for all the old school people, decent.
Wando. Wando. I mean, hey, Wando. You can't knock Wando.
Sitter in the World Cup. People don't forget.
Yeah, I know. He's missed a few sitters, except for an MLS. Greatest goal scorer in MLS history.
He's one of those guys. No matter what age, he'll be 40 and he'll play in the MLS, still banging in like 20 goals a season.
Oh yeah.
So, Anthony, I'm not really sure why. One, because American sports usually are played with your hands, so we're at a young age, we're used to just, as a kid, you're playing basketball or baseball, all with your hands, work done. You basically start as a young child with hand-eye coordination. I believe that's why as we develop such good goalies, because from the start as a kid, you're always watching the ball and you working on hand-eye coordination and catching the ball from just American sports. So I'm going to say that definitely helps out. But I don't know. We've had some good strikers over the years. It's just recently we're looking to replace, Dempsey and Landon Donovan and all those guys. So there's somebody who will come and take the reins. It's just it's a young team. I don't know.
I'm okay that our best players now aren't our strikers, that we have, some quality throughout the entire roster, and that once we do find a striker, I think we'll be in good shape, and a real good center back. I would say trio, because it's beyond just having a pairing. You got to have more than just a pairing because of injuries and games played. So we got to find those like 3 main center backs that are going to kind of hold us down for the next 5-6 years. But
what time is Mexico playing tonight?
10 p.m. Eastern Standard. Where? By the way, Jenny, where are you joining us from? Because we do like to know all that. So, and that would help if we gave you a time, because it might not be 10 p.m. your time. Yeah. It might be a 7 p.m. game for you.
Let's see, Anthony. I don't really consider Landon and McBride strikers. They're more midfielders that were forced to play.
Yeah, well, that's what they tried to do with Legit, and it didn't work. But that was a different error, and that's why I was saying it's nice that we don't have to do that. We don't have to take our best guy and be like, hey, you're the only one who can put the ball in the net, even though you're not a striker. Can you please play there?
Cali. So it'll be 7 o'clock out west.
7 o'clock your time. U.S. Little
Or
afternoon
L3.
game for you. A little 4:30 U.S. Qatar game.
Eric said he's pumped for the season. Philly teams suck. Hey, come on. The Union are doing just fine.
Yeah, well, he left them out. He didn't mean that.
Liverpool's we know you have faith in Liverpool. You Liverpool fans are just incredible.
Yeah, got to keep the faith.
You're a cult.
I can't wait till we preview this upcoming season.
It's fun. It's going to be great. I think we're trying to predict that. I know Eric mentioned in the soccer group chat that we're trying to do a little actual full table prediction, which is extremely tough, but I think that'll be kind of fun.
Yeah.
To see, because it's only going to be who's going to get. I mean, the top 4 you could probably predict, top 5, but then it's like, who really knows?
It is, and if you got to do it properly, then you got to go through basically week by week and say, all right, I'm watching this game. Who do you think's going to win? This game, who do you think's going to win? Picking draws. It's not going to be easy, but it's Oh, Dan's confident tonight. We got Dan versus Jenny today on the show. Made a little Mexican-Canada rivalry. It's nice to have a Mexican fan on the show for once.
I know. Love it.
We're really enjoying your presence here, so please join us more often.
Anthony with the questions. Appreciate it, my friend.
Yeah, Anthony's definitely been killing it for us lately.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't see that ever happening. Combining like a South American and North America tournament.
Yeah. Well, the problem is, like, who are you combining from North America? The U.S. and Canada? And then are you going, like, territories, like Bahamas and stuff like that? I mean, there's not much to offer there. If that... I don't know. I don't know how they got to figure out a better way, I think, though, to get, because I feel like
an all region team, like an all CONCACAF all stars or something like that.
I don't know.
That'd be pretty nuts. Like an all common bowl, like an all South American squad is probably pretty damn good.
That'd be pretty cool.
That'd be interesting. Yeah, Jenny, we're saying, I think everybody's thinking Mexico, USA, and I'm sure the TV people, I'm sure, will love that for ratings because that's going to get a huge draw.
Kind of for our own personal show, though, I kind of want Canada just so we can...
So I can tell Dan to pound sand.
Yeah. And I mean, even though we got our revenge game on them, like now after losing that one game to them, like more often we get a chance to play them in big games and beat them, the better. So, like they opened the door by kind of whooping up on us in that stupid game that really meant nothing. That could have meant
kind of
something.
Started a little bit of like, oh no.
You know what, though? That was good, I think. It kind of put a little fire under this team. It was like, damn.
It was a nice kick in the ass.
Yeah.
It almost made us jump off the bridge a little bit, and we came in the next day pretty pissed off, and it was a good show after that. That's about it. Some good content, but yeah, it's we don't want to go to those days where we're losing to Canada. No offense in soccer.
We don't want to go back there.
Don't make me go back. Yeah, even combine, like, just I know what you're saying, Anthony, but I don't know if money can talk to you. If they somehow figured out location and when it was going to be, Dan, you could eat shit yourself. If you're a good boy, maybe mommy will unblock you. What stadium is Mexico playing at?
I will tell you in 2 seconds. Tonight's game is at NRG Stadium. Houston, Texas.
Nice fake turf in there.
Yes. Speaking of, I'm glad she brought that up because while we're still here,
Oh, the U.S. game's in Austin, right?
QT Stadium, yes.
QT.
QT. Or Q2, sorry, Q2 Stadium.
Q2.
Q2 Stadium.
There you go. It's the new stadium at Austin FC is the U.S. Qatar game tonight.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, unfortunately, it's not at.
Yeah, I don't know.
Somewhere I could go.
I don't think they would put it at MetLife because it probably wouldn't. The MetLife you save for MetLife is going to get the World Cup games eventually, and that's for the big dog games. That's like the games where you're looking to fill in 70,000, 80,000 capacity stadium.
Yeah, and also to mention Lord Walker for the info earlier today, or yesterday, or whenever that was. I guess it was technically yesterday, about the World Cup qualifying game. There's actually more on that. There's 2 World Cup qualifying games that were announced. One, we will be, I think, playing in the Mexico game is in Cincinnati, he said, right? So we talked about that as being, Adam and I have mentioned many times that we would like, games against teams like that moved into more of the central part of the United States, because generally when you are in the California, Texas, even the New York regions where you have a strong following and strong culture of Mexican Americans, we usually become the kind of the road team in our own home games. So that game is in. We're going to have one in there, and we're going to have another qualifying game in Columbus. So that's good to see that they are kind of following what we've asked, and they're kind of starting to see the trend as well, and they're moving some of these games kind of more.
I like it. It's again, you want to keep the El Tree fans. No offense, Jenny. We don't want it to be a home game for a World Cup qualifying, especially against Mexico. You don't want to feel like you're in Mexico City when we're supposed to be the home team. So it was a good idea, and I think they're going towards the soccer-specific stadiums as well. You don't have to go the American route and pick these football stadiums that hold 100,000 people. Focus on the soccer-specific. Keep it small. Keep these soccer-specific stadiums. You're a little more on top of the players.
The acoustics are designed for that.
Right. You want the home field advantage. You want any type of advantage going into these World Cup qualifying games, and I think that's smart to do that because they always do it in Kansas City at the Sporting Stadium, always playing there. Columbus, they'll do that. They'll do the Austin game, hopefully. But yeah, it's better that way. You need all the advantage you can get going into these big matches coming up here. Will the Link host World Cup games in 2026? We hope. That'd be great. They are in the running in the last, 12 or 14 cities, I think, are in the running for hosting here.
Yeah, see, now, and World Cup's going to be a different beast. Like, we say this for these games, but unfortunately or fortunately or whatever it is, I guess they'll put the money to it, and they should have good pitches for these. But, like, World Cup, it's going to end up in the big stadiums, and Anthony has said as well. Like, they're not going to put them in the soccer-specific stadiums just for money and capacity and television view and everything, which I would still prefer the soccer-specific stadiums for World Cup and maybe spreading it out more throughout the country, but it's not going to go that way. But.
I mean, in the World Cup as well, though, you're hosting the whole tournament, so you're not just hosting U.S. games, you're hosting Germany, France, Portugal, Brazil, like these huge countries. Like, it's the big deal. So, yeah, of course you're going to open it up to Jerry World and MetLife. Miami definitely going to get in there, I'm sure. Houston, the one in Phoenix probably as well, where the Cardinals play, I'm sure will get a bid. Probably Soldier Stadium in Chicago. The Link, I'm sure, will get at least 3 games, maybe, I hope.
Yeah, dude.
Whether it's the U.S., who knows? I mean, even if the U.S. doesn't get to go to Philly, I would still like to go see at least, 3 games or 2 games there. It doesn't matter. It's still gonna be awesome.
Anywhere from D.C. to probably Connecticut, whatever stadiums get games, there. I don't care which 2 teams, and we got to make sure we get there for that.
I would assume MetLife will probably get the semifinals or finals
of
the World Cup. I would assume so.
I don't have that kind of money, but I'll.
And those ticket lotteries are going to be insane to get into those games anyway.
Yeah, I'll be happy with a group stage game somewhere against 2 teams. I don't care who we're playing. So, and Eric, no.
Yeah,
I love you, but no, like just because we made. Yeah, that's what he's saying. If we get to the Gold Cup final, is like the A team just coming out. It doesn't work that way. This is the team. They can't do that. Yeah,
you can't just flip flop them.
Yeah, and second of all, I wouldn't even want that. There's no momentum. You can't just bring in a bunch of cold guys that are now training with their clubs, getting ready for the club season, and say, "Oh, you got to play 1 game."
The A team is getting ready for their club season, like Brian just said. I don't want Gio Reyna coming from Dortmund trying
number
to get
7. Sorry. I got excited. I saw that today. I saw that. That was exciting. I kind of want that jersey.
Apparently, Jay and Sancho personally said, "You can have the number 7 jersey when I leave." Gio's like, "Well, hey, man, appreciate it. Hopefully, I can do just as good as you." It's a big year for him. I was just talking to somebody about that. Big year for Gio Reyna. Yeah, Eric, there's once the roster's submitted, I don't believe you can call up people like that. You probably have reserves ready to rock on the bench if need be. I think they brought in Henry Kessler, was the defender, came in for somebody recently.
Yeah, they were able to bring the 2 guys in when Zimmerman went down.
That's
but it
right,
was but
you can't just bring in guys that are from Europe and be like, "Hey, play a game for us and go back."
Yeah.
Mexico's a good team, Jenny. There's no doubt that Mexico is, like I said, a little leaps and bounds ahead of the U.S. On success and just quality of player, but hopefully that'll change.
Adam's rooting for you tonight. We know that.
I got your back.
Adam's definitely got
your back, Jenny. I'm all on El Tree. I'm not on their side a lot, but
tonight
against the little brothers up north, yes, of course.
Speaking of Dortmund real quick, too, I didn't realize, the other day when we were talking about Daniel Malin, I forgot he was an Arsenal once many moons ago, an underperforming Arsenal guy that's going to go to the Bundesliga and probably play really well.
Yeah, it's an exciting prospect. He's a good replacement, hopefully, for Sancho, and it'll be the typical Dortmund way. He'll come to the Bundesliga and kill it, and then he'll be sold for a pretty penny. So,
yeah,
it's good for him.
And in any other recent transfer news, it looks like your boy looks like Kepa's gone. Right? Where's Kepa going to go? Because you guys just brought in Marcus Bettinelli.
Great signing.
Great signing. Great signing. He was not even with team, basically. The 29-year-old free agent goalkeeper, formerly with Middlesbrough and Fulham. 7 years spent with Fulham. So I guess that marks the end for Kepa. You have your goalkeeper. We know that. As much as it pains Eddie, the guy just won you a Champions League. So he's not going anywhere. So I don't know what Kepa's deal is or where I haven't heard any rumors, but it sounds like you're going to have to move on from him. We have a friendly coming up, too, on August 1st, Chelsea and Arsenal. So
I did see that.
Yeah.
Community Shield does start, though, Eric, on the 7th, I believe.
Yeah, I think that's what he was.
Leicester and City. So, yes, technically it does start.
But that's not the Prem season.
No. But I guess that kicks off the actual campaign, sort of.
Yeah, for England.
When are we live streaming? We don't do too many live look-ins because just scheduling-wise, it's tough. I work at night. Brian has his gigs at night. So it can be tough to do like a live stream of some of these games.
But this show's every Tuesday and Thursday,
Right?
From 2 to 3 Eastern time.
Eastern, right?
So
you can always catch us there, and we always have it. If you follow A2D Radio, which is the platform, if you're not aware,
you're on
watch
YouTube.
All our shows and YouTube as well, of course.
She's on YouTube, so like and subscribe, follow, have it. You can set your YouTube up to where every time anything we come on, it gives you an alert. Everybody needs to do more of that these days. Alert ourselves because I forget things too. So
of course,
so definitely.
No, he won't get playing time at Chelsea either, unfortunately.
Yeah, he's not playing over Mendy.
He has to go somewhere that's a lower level team that's looking for a top goalie that he can compete and get first team minutes because he's not going to do it at City. He's not going to do it at Chelsea.
They need to get him on one of these teams that just gets promoted or something.
Right. Or loan him to a championship side. It's not a big deal. Like, get him to be a first team keeper. I mean, look at Ethan Horvath. He'll compete for this, Nottingham Forest job.
Yeah. He should win that job.
There.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I mean.
I know. I would rather see if the guy's supposed to still be our clear-cut number one. I would still rather.
You don't want him on the bench?
No, I want him starting, but I want him starting in the top league, even if it's for a bad team, because you'll be able to watch the games and know if it's because of poor defense or if it's his performance of why, even if there's struggles there. But I want him playing every game, and I want him playing against some of the better competition.
No, he wouldn't do good at Arsenal either.
I would love to have him at Arsenal because,
I mean, Burns pretty good.
Burn is good, but Burns' time is going to be coming to an end, and we're still. We thought the Icelandic goalkeeper was out, and now he's not out. Actually, we have a really good goalkeeper coming up in the ranks too. So.
Yeah, anything in the probably top 6, I don't think that would be a very smart move. Again, we do want our number one goalie, and he should be playing first team minutes. Even Ethan Horvath, I would rather have him gone to a team that he can win that job, easily and not compete. You could just walk in there and, get that job, but whatever.
Eric and Lord Walker should be more concerned right now with Liverpool being tied up with Hertha Berlin 2-2 in their friendly. A full Liverpool squad, too. Not really.
I don't know about that.
Pretty. I mean, you got Trent in there. You got a lot of your defense in there, or outside of Van Dijk. They got Matip again. Kanate starting again. Semikas is at left back. Trent's at right back. Their midfield is not the same, but they have Mane and Salah in there with Minamino up at the striker. So other than the midfield being Naby Keita, Milner, and Elliott, like that, I mean, and Kelleher's playing goal, but.
Very strong. Very strong.
The Irish goalkeeper from Quarterfinals.
I don't want him anywhere near an Italian league.
He's just, what are you moving Zach all over the world?
He's just feeling it out. He's like, what do you think? Chelsea? Nah. Arsenal? Nah.
Here? Nah.
Not Italy either. Not the MLS either. He needs to go to a championship team and get every game under his belt because this is a huge year for him.
Yeah.
And I don't need him at City backing up Ederson.
And the game in Columbus is against Costa Rica, the one we're hosting.
Costa Rica.
Yes.
Very nice.
Yes.
Anything else?
I
didn't see really any transfers from the last couple days.
No, literally the only one was your new goalkeeper that was worth mentioning. We already talked about Ben White coming.
Mm-hmm.
There are rumors of Arsenal either going after James Maddison or Martin Odegaard. It sounds like Madrid's asking 50 for Odegaard. It sounds like Arsenal was willing to pay 50 for Maddison, and they still have interest in Odegaard. So I don't know. Are they going to try to stick with the Englishman and bring Maddison in, or are they going to go outside? Because, I mean, Odegaard looked good in his little bit of time that he did play last year.
He looked good.
But you don't want to get fooled either in that and go drop 50 mil to Madrid and then have another Ozil.
He'll get loaned back out somewhere. He's not playing for Madrid.
I mean, they're seeking a sale. I think they're going beyond a loan. They're probably seeking a full sale. It looks like because Madrid has there's going to be moves coming. Like there's big moves still going to happen before this season.
Oh, it's still early.
Like
still got a good month left.
Like we're going to be starting games, and then there's pretty much going to be some moves coming. Like that's just the way.
I don't doubt it.
Yeah. So. But yeah, nothing too much there. I don't have too much on the red card ranks either at this point. Nobody's really done anything too crazy to.
I just had my combined, like per usual, the whole Wayne Rooney situation. Have you read anything about this?
I did start a little today.
Like what? He is just always getting himself into just. Like wrong place, wrong time type situations here.
Yeah.
Just getting drunk and yelling when he was in DC, and then now this thing coming out. It's just like, oh boy.
Yeah, he's not too good at keeping his things under wraps.
No, terrible.
Yeah, and
he's an Englishman. He likes to drink a bit.
And some shows might, say something negative to the Brazil stars for mocking Argentina over the Olympic exit, but I'm all for it. Mock away. Enjoy yourselves.
It's a nice little rivalry. It's see, that's funny banter, Dan.
Yes.
That's funny. That is great banter. I love that. Yeah, Lord Walker, I'm not even going to entertain that, what you just said. Maybe Arsenal's out of the top 4. I don't know about Chelsea. That's tough to say, man. I'll put money on that.
Listen, your shiny new toy at center back has leaked goals in every performance that he's been in so far. So I know they're club friendlies, but just saying.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see it when it counts.
Mm-hmm. Last question before we head out of here. Do you think Miami will fire Phil Neville?
Oh.
I would be surprised if David Beckham pulls his old friend mid-season. I really would.
Yeah, but I'd be surprised if he doesn't at some point if they can't win some freaking games. Because
I mean, at this point, you're pretty much done. I mean, it's hard to come back from that. They're so bad, it's not even funny.
Yeah, are they still? Oh, they got a point since we last brought them up. They're up to 9 now.
I think we tied them recently as well, which is sad.
I think that is their point. That's the 1 point they got because they were sitting at 8. That's right. But
rambled out of Miami with a point.
But again, we know regular season and supporter shields mean shit in the MLS. So
we did see that last year. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be one bit worried if I was a Union guy, especially considering your goalkeeper's finally coming back to your team now, and you can actually play with like a real roster. So you should be fortunate enough to see him when you go on Sunday, right? You're going.
Yes, I'll be in attendance. Talent Energy. Can't wait. It's been like 2 years since I've that playoff game was literally the last Union game I was at.
Yeah, I haven't been to anything since that game we've been to. So,
and hopefully I can announce some new signings for the Union on Tuesday, but I'll keep that under wraps because it's just a little word on the street of the Union hot stove here. I'm hearing nothing crazy, but we'll see.
Nice.
But yes, again, thanks everybody for checking in today. We're out of time. We will talk to you on Tuesday. Hopefully we will be celebrating, like Brian said, a Gold Cup title. Hopefully Again, we got USA Qatar tonight, 8 o'clock, followed by Mexico versus the Little Brothers up north at 10. Also, the Olympics, keep an eye on that. We got the U.S. women's national team as well, playing tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Against
A breakfast
the
game.
Netherlands. Yeah.
It's a good old
It's
breakfast
a good
game.
warm-up for the Prem season when you get that your team plays at 7:30 early-ass game, and I struggled to get up
Yeah.
for myself. That is a hot take and a good one. Yeah. We'll see. But, yeah, we'll talk all that fun stuff again on Tuesday. Greg, thank you for joining us.
Better late than never.
Yeah. The Brazilian women are very special, and we know why Miss Bum Bum World Championships is held in Brazil. So that's all I'm going to say. Thanks again. We love you guys, and, yeah, we'll see you on Tuesday. Enjoy your weekend.
Later. Love you guys.